Hello, and welcome back to Monifactory. Last time we made a whole bunch of multi-block machines for auto-crafting purposes. I think that was last time, I'm pretty sure. We made 4 alloy blast smelters for our better use of on-demand alloy blast smelting. We added quite a number of passives to our passive area here, including our LUV and ZPM components. We built out real ore processing, and between episodes I've extended it by including the plat line here. So now we have the plat line interconnected with ore processing, so any platinum ores we get should go into this side, which is good. And we made the Tier 4 rocket, which took us to Glacio to go get us rich in said ore processing. Now we have a ton of ruthenium, osmium, iridium, and etc., and a truly heinous amount of Nequata. Oh, that's very nice. For things we did between episodes, like I said, we moved the plat line over here, and I've sort of coordinated things with these various cable facades. These are the 2 machines that make rhodium, these 2 make ruthenium, or vice versa. That one makes platinum, that one makes palladium. Just a little bit of forward thinking in case I need to look at these things later. I should also probably extend this train of thought to this little area, but I didn't, so maybe later. And as I'm sure you noticed, we finally moved in upstairs, including a nice little rug for the doggy. I don't have a name for him yet. I don't believe I've done too much else, so let's look at the docket for today. It's a pretty strong one, I feel. We're going to start with some new circuit boards, then we'll make some new circuit chips, and then we'll make some new circuits, and then we can do some research for the rest of the new circuits. We are at the stage of the game to where we can look at crystal circuits. And while we could go this way, we can't go that way for long. So, circuits. And it's always good to get better circuits anyways. So crystal circuits require 3 things. Advanced SMDs we did a very long time ago, so that's done and dusted. The next circuit board of the multi-layer fiber reinforced printed circuit board, it shouldn't be too hard, we'll look at that shortly. And the part I'm a little bit more concerned about is crystal CPU growth. But we'll look at this at the end. Well, end, quote-unquote. To start, though, for our multi-layer fiber reinforced printed circuit boards, try saying that 5 times fast, we need the multi-layer boards, a little bit of platinum foil, which is no biggie, and either sodium persulfate, iron trichloride, or oxalic acid. I'm sure one day we'll make the oxalic acid, and that might be sooner than later, but we haven't yet, so meh. So we'll just be using the iron trichloride recipe. The circuit board itself, however, requires some of the previous circuit boards, plus a little bit of palladium, and either hexafluorosilicic acid or sulfuric acid. The sulfuric acid is a lot more, so I think it's about time that we should make some of this stuff. It's used for making way bigger batches of our old circuit boards as well. Oh, I guess not actually. I guess it's just those plastics. Well, that's fine. This is a very cheap, what is this, an etching acid maybe? I don't know. It's very small use, which is probably very good. And it's also not that hard to make. It's a little bit of silicon dioxide, which comes from just about everything, and hydrofluoric acid, which is something we already make. So this is really just a chemoreactor recipe and like an interface. Oh, right, I forgot to finish ripping out the old bits of the plat line here. I did some of it, but not all of it, evidently. Oh, that was pretty easy, as expected. 1 down. And I added some patterns, so let's see if I can just make one of these circuit boards. We'll need more, of course, so I guess we'll start with 8. Okay. I mean, yeah, it seems to be going quite quickly. Our machines are very fast in many parallels and high LEV overclocking. The only thing that's going slow is, what is this, a chemical bath, perhaps? Oh, yeah. Yeah, just a poor little HV chemical bath. I can't be that surprised or that upset. Maybe I should swap these out to, Ivy or something like that. That will, quadruple the speed of everything here? I don't think we use any of these things very frequently, but, it would be nice, I'm sure. Especially for these 2 things especially, actually, would be... These are both, super slow. They're huge bottlenecks. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Everything else is, instant. But hey, those are done. Cool. Oh yeah, look at that time difference. Ignore this one. This was, I forgot to set the output on this. We went from 52 seconds with the HV one to 17 seconds. We just quadrupled our speed. Literally, that was the hard bottleneck. Great. I can't believe I hadn't upgraded these before. Well, we have them upgraded now. Alright, so crystal chips. So there's a couple ways to get these. The best way, I believe, is going to be a little bit later. We can't do this today, but we will do it later. Bacterial sludge and or mutagen. You can take the raw crystal chip parts and just regrow them over and over again. It's not a guarantee, but you could totally easily passive this and just loop it. Unfortunately, we do not have access to that today because that requires a sterile cleaning hatch, which is after Fusion Mark II, which is after this UV circuit here. So, not here. Instead, what we'll be doing for our first few crystal chips is this recipe right here. An exquisite emerald, some europium, and we'll get a chance at a crystal chip after 10 minutes. I mean, it will be faster because it's in a multi-block. That's good, right? Now, thankfully, I also looked at this ahead of time and batch crafted a whole boatload of europium. And I believe I should have... I mean, that's not a bad amount of exquisite emeralds. We'll take 32. Oh, it's about 2.5 minutes. That's not bad. It also says just we're getting 1, or about 1. I wonder if it's guaranteed at 1 because it's 4 parallels. That would make sense. I just don't know if they would code it like that. I guess I'll find out in another 1.5 minutes. I'll see you in a little bit. Wait, I don't know why I'm waiting for this. I literally have it pinned up here. The next thing we do is we take one of these chips and we smash it into parts, and then we grow chips into the crystal chip at a guaranteed rate instead of a not guaranteed rate. What am I doing? Yeah, so it'll still take a while, but now we can make like 16 of the... Wait, what? Huh? What? Why? What? Why wasn't it making them before? Am I missing something? Make 16 of these. Why didn't it do that earlier? That's weird. Okay, that'll be done in like 10 minutes or something. No, 5 minutes. Wait, 600 seconds is 5 minutes? No, it's not. What am I talking about? I'm so confused today. Okay, well, while we're waiting, I think, 10 minutes, let's look ahead a little bit. So we take a crystal chip, plus either an olivine or emerald plate, and some helium into the EBF, and it makes the engraved crystal chip. We take this and we run it through a clean lime LUV laser engraver. This one felt really painful to read when I was setting this up today. Imagine, if you will, being me, making 12 IV laser engravers, and then it turns out you need the multi because you want the clean room, and you need it to be LUV because it needs to be LUV. Like, I wasn't mad. I was just like, I was kicking myself in the butt. You know what I mean? Just one of those days. And emerald plates are no biggie. We just make this in a cutter with some lubricant. Alright, let's claim some rewards. Ooh, about $1.50. Nice. I really like the look of these circuits too. I like how they glisten. It's very cool. Although I'm a bit more excited for the next ones. But I can't look there yet. Not yet. Not yet. I must not look ahead. And with those new fancy circuits, we have the new boards, chips, and circuits. But the rest comes later. Because it's a little late here, and I should be doing this tomorrow. After a cool transition. Whoa! Well, I've been doing a lot of work here, and I have something very exciting to show you. Oh, it's quite large. Oh, it's going to be very large. Okay, allegedly, this should work like I want it to. Whoa! Are we missing something? What am I missing? Like 2 casings or something? Oh, I'm also missing all the coils, aren't I? I did forget the coils. Yes, yes, yes. Well, while this behemoth finishes the coils being made, I'm making a few more Naquadas. Let's talk about where we're at. As you saw, I mean, we're done with the docket, but there's still so much time left. Maybe we go for Fusion 2? It's gonna be really expensive. I actually don't think there's actually anything else to do besides Fusion 2. And then I think from there, it's like we can either go for UV stuff or we can go down for like biochemistry. And we're going to be doing biochem, obviously. I have no need for a UV assembler as much as I would like the, you know. Yeah, so I guess we'll just look into Fusion 2. But I want to look at this first because it looks like it'd be very imposing and impressive. Probably also worth considering at this point is finishing off our NAC line. We have these 3 steps here that we need to do. You know, just like getting the ingots in and then cooling them with our various things that we just like have. I don't remember if we can loop the hydrogen and the sulfuric acid, or if it would probably just be more worth it to just like add hydrogen and take out the sulfuric acid. But you would probably be looping the sulfuric acid back into here. I mean, I guess what we currently have is fine, just using from storage, and we're adding back to storage. It's probably okay. And we make like a ton of hydrogen, so that's fine. Pop, pop. Are we done? No, what are we missing? Oh, man. Aha! I was just missing a couple blocks on the back. Ho ho! The big blast furnace. You know, I was considering putting a building around it, but like, do we even need that? Look at how big it is. It's already cool enough, right? Maybe we get like a cool, like, beam come out of it, or like a smokestack or something. Or another antenna. I'll talk about that in a second. Well, I guess we should probably give it a test run, right? Let's, ooh, you know what would be a great one is trinium. I would love to move trinium over to that. Let's see, what does 16 trinium look like in this thing? I guess we'll do 32, why not? Oh, does it not, no, it doesn't like this. Okay, I guess we need to put it into something that, yeah, that's fine, I can fix that. With the power of the ingredient buffer. Oh, you know, it'd probably help if I, yeah, there we go. 50 seconds for 4 of them. Why only 4? I mean, that's still a lot faster. Oh, we are... Why are you not doing that? That's scary. Maybe I should get a 16 amp ZPM converter. Probably wouldn't hurt. What if we use a 4 amp and we overclock it? Now what's it look like? We're up to UV in this thing. What's it cook at? Did it avoid my trinium because I broke it? I think it might have avoided my trinium because I broke it. Oopsie. What if I want 16 nap? We can do 8 parallels. Same time, it is just 8 parallels though, which I mean is not nothing. Oh. This can't really handle that though. Well, oh, actually no, I think it is fine. No, we're good, we're good. I think that's a case of our dynamo hatch though on the substation. We have 64 amps of LUV, which is 16 of ZPM. I think do we get 4 amps of UV out of it? I guess we do. But it's a lot of power. It's a very big number. Oh, we're actually only using 2 amps of ZPM. I mean, I guess we don't really need that much. So I think everything besides the Dark Solarium and Cryolobus we can just chuck in here, and that should be fine, and this thing should go at like crazy speeds now. So, cool. We have a big furnace, and it's really fast, and very upgradable, without having to do all that stuff, and worry about all the digging around that I had to do too. This is just so much simpler. And I believe we can take this up to a 64 amp hatchet, or not 64 amp, 64 parallel hatch, basically now or something? Yeah, now that we have UV circuits. I mean, like we could, but I don't really feel like it's necessary here. We're a little broke as is. And speaking of broke, we gotta go make a fusion reactor. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons why we can't make this yet. But, okay, buffer issue, buffer issue, buffer issue, buffer issue, buffer issue, buffer issue, crafting issue. We'll fix this after we get fusion. NAC line issue. Do I have beryllium? smelting issue, I guess is the way to put it. Give me all that. I guess we'll need more beryllium soon. Well, while we're crafting fusion and fusion components and more crystal chips, let's talk about this thing. Yippee! It's research, and this will change every time we change an age. So when we make Darmstadium, then we'll change it to UV, which will be a little awkward because there's only 2 letters in that. But the rest of them have 3 letters, so man. This is a satellite dish. It's okay. I might just like make it bigger because it does feel kind of small. Maybe if I make it bigger, it'll look better. I don't know. It's like, from some angles, it's pretty good. Like from this one, this is not a bad angle. It's not a great angle. This one's like okay. This one's like really bad. Touch-ups. I kind of like how this came out though. Feels cool. It lights up nicely at night. Cool stuff. I also changed this building. So we're not using the synth alloys. Those are being used over here now. Just at this little area as like a little break in texture, I guess. We're using these, I think these are iron slates here. And these tank pillars. These are a lot better. This looks a lot better. Looks a lot less standout. I like this a lot more. Much better. I've also set up some ender links for the turbine rotors. We were getting about half durability on some of these, so I was like, I would really like a way to, have them automatically put in. So we have these ender links here. These will basically automatically take anything from the insert link, that being the steel crate over here, and put it in over here. In this case, back into the rotor holder, without me having to go and put it in myself. And we have a requester here. We're just requesting one of these into this thing right here. So this is where everything will go because it's a, super duper max priority. And it'll just go into this crate and it'll output into these turbines if and when they break. So cool. Our tritium production is a little sketchy. I set up a centrifuge down here. It's just a single block IV. It's been fine so far. However, our power demands have gone up significantly. So, who knows on that regards. Oh yeah, the inside here. So we have a high performance computation array, of course, the HPCA. We have room for 3 more. These will eventually hook up to a multi-block that will set up here. That will basically link these, all 4 of these, into this right here. We have space for 2 databanks, one over there, one over there. These can each hold data access hatches and optical transmission hatches, so we can basically power all the assembly lines data from one big storage box here. We have a couple extra floors worth of space here. One for 2 9-long assembly lines, another one here, and another big one here. This has space for the dimensional super assembler. It's like the rotary hearth furnace of assembly lines. It's rather big, so it needs a lot of space, but we should have the allotted space, so that's good. Basically, we can parallel our assembly lines a little bit easier until we get there, and then once we get there, we'll be able to have space for it. But, we'll build it up there once we get there, which will be in a long time, probably. Oh, and time for my mandatory complaints of the episode. So, the Dark Solarium jetpack is up here, behind tritium coils. This is because you need Dark Solarium to get it, right? Well, you need the Flux Jetpack Research, which requires a data module, which is a ZPM circuit assembler recipe, which is fine, but it does take the wetware boards, so, Additionally, it takes 64 computation per tick, which is only accessible down here after you unlock this network switch multi-block. So, why is it up here? It should be down here at, the very end of this chapter. Am I crazy? What? Why is it up there? It's the entire chapter behind. It just tricks you. So this is my complaint. Move this quest down to either here, or maybe here, because you obviously need the wetware board, so you need to be down this line at least some amount. And the network switch is a literal requirement, so it should be at least after the network switch. But no, it's up here after tritium coils, despite the fact that you need all of Fusion Mark II, and sterilized cleaning hatches, and the whole biochem line, and Darmstadium, and new coil. You need the next tier of coils! You need more than you need tritanium coils! Yeah, I'm trying not to be mean. Who put this quest here? Either this should be so far down, this should be a 48 computation. If this was a 48 computation recipe, it'd still be down here! What? This feels like such an oversight. Grumble. Anyway, we also have a PCB coolant monitor here because I burned out 2 of those already because I didn't have enough coolant. So now whenever I do research stuff, I can see that I have coolant to run it. So that's good. This is going to be a long time. Not the least of which because these UHPIC wafers are being run on an IV recipe and not a ZPM recipe. I'll be fixing that shortly as well, don't you worry. But we have to go through all of these, it would appear. But yeah, suffice to say, I think this one might also come out a little late because, I mean, we didn't really do a lot so far, right? You watched me make circuits, and then I had a little compilation about building research, and we made the rotary furnace, and I've just been yapping your ear off for a little while. We haven't really done a whole lot. I would really like to do something, but I gotta wait on all this stuff to make fusion stuff, I think. I guess. Quite upsetting, I must say. I guess I can go build out the skeletons of the EBS for the NAC line. Uh-oh. That's like really bad, right? Uh-oh. Go faster, quick! Uh-oh. Let's change this back to 15%. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go unpower fail a bunch of machines. Okay, I've been running all over the place, just like, you know, picking up stuff. We have so many things going. I'm just gonna start backlogging and start prepping to make a second fusion reactor, and I'll be back in like 2 days, I'm sure. Oh boy. This is gonna be another late one. And I'm starting to sense a pattern, although I'm hoping the pattern ceases soon, because I said with the last fusion reactor, if it's just me waiting around for 3 days and having to come out with a late video, I'm gonna drop the pack. I better not just be waiting around for 3 days, but I think my infrastructure's better this time. I think power's better this time. And once we have Fusion 2, I intend to upgrade. Tin plasma is the future. I mean, look at this stuff. 262,000 EU per millibucket. Compare that to helium plasma. 81,000. This stuff is like 3 times better, and it's like super cheap. It's silver, which we get from HNN, and helium-3, which we get from a lot of things, not the least of which is helium, which we can get from other stuff too. But like this is super cheap compared to what we were using before. Like this silver's literally free. I just need to double check that helium's good. But even then, even if it's not good, we can drill it from the moon. So we should be totally good when it comes to making tin plasma. We just have to get there first. And then we can make a bunch of, who knows really how many turbines. And hopefully that will keep us going. Because, I mean, look at our power crater right now. Like, each time it updates, it's like a 0.04 billion. Oh, look, crystal chips are done. Lots of things are just going. Anyway, I'll be back. Well, it has been about 12 hours of game time, but I have something impressive to show you. Not just a fusion reactor, but 2 bulk blast chillers. Yoink! One of these blast chillers will be going next to this rotary hearth furnace right here. I'll get a better building for it, and then I'll set it up, so I'll just leave it in a barrel for here right now. The other will be replacing these 2 vacuum freezers here, with this spot we already designated earlier, so I should set this up now. Okay, so as it stands, we do have a fusion reactor, and we could do a lot of things with it. There's of course a lot of new recipes to acquire, such as argon plasma, or iridium. We don't need iridium. In fact, I think we have more iridium than beryllium at this point, but we could make iridium. But that's not what we're here for. We are here for primarily, immediately at least, 2 things. Darmstadium and tin plasma. Darmstadium is the material used for UV machine hulls. And I know we don't have the power to progress to UV, however, we can make a UV converter, which would be good. This would be very good, actually. A UV converter means that we can get more draw out of our substation. We would, of course, need to upgrade this hatch and this transformer, but that's fine. I mean, we can do that. We would need to bring this to 64 amps ZPM, and this to a ZPM transformer, and then, of course, this to a 16 amp UV converter. But we can then get full power draw out of this thing, like really, really strong power draw. 4 times the power draw, to my understanding. We've had a couple circumstances where we've been having some power throughput issues, but it's been mostly, I think, solved by the converter here. So a UV one should keep us coasting for a very long time, I imagine. Or at least a couple tiers. Maybe 2. Probably 1. Another thing I've been looking into are these energy modules. These are a ZPM battery, and that's pretty good considering our current battery is IV. We're missing some oxalic acid, but that's just a backlogging issue that'll fix itself shortly, I hope. Either that or I need to fix a power fail. The rest of these things are just components though, so we could probably do that. We then need to can it, and I don't imagine this is a particularly expensive recipe. No, it's just raridit parts, that's fine. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, we did finish the knack line. These work, but they are very power intensive. These are all on ZPM hatches, which is really painful, at least for one of these. So we're not doing that yet. I want to fix power first, and then we'll come back to that. Anyway, this is a long tangent to tell you we need a little bit of Darmstadium, and then we can go on to power maxing, because we need more power, and like so much of it. We keep like running dead on things, and also like, I mean, be real. Is 8 turbines gonna get us to antimatter? Of course it's not. Why would it? How could it? Also, this setup sucks. I have a sign here. So this is a, what is it? This little detector on the back. It's supposed to be like an RS NOR latch. If it goes below 16 buckets, it'll turn on a signal until it gets above 256 buckets, and then it'll turn it off. Or maybe vice versa, I don't remember. You know, that's how it works like you think it would. It doesn't do that. At 100 buckets, it will turn on, and then it will turn off at 104 buckets. This confuses me, because where are those numbers? Neither of those numbers are on this fluid detector. Where are they at? Oh. Okay, well I didn't see this button before. Look, if it says it's an RS NOR latch, why would it not be an RS NOR latch? Why would it be on this? Why would it give me a minute and max if it's gonna be on a continuous mode? Okay. Now it should be fixed. Now this should be like on or something. I don't know, man. Anyway, this is like an irritating setup all the same. Ignore my hubris. So in order to get one 16 amp converter, we need one UV machine hull, which is 8 Darmstadium. And unfortunately, it's much the same of europium. It's quite an unpleasant recipe. Ruthenium and arsenic. Yeah. These are both easy to get, of course. Relatively speaking, we should have a lot of ruthenium. A good amount. We can mine more if we need. Ignore ore processing, it's very backed up. You didn't know that, but it is. So if we wanted exactly one UV machine hull, we would need 8 ruthenium and 16 arsenic. That's not bad. However, you know how the fusion reactor works, probably. So we should do at least a couple batches. I'm thinking maybe we go for a stack to start. Maybe that's okay. That'll give us a few extra converters should we need it. I don't know what else we would use Darmstadium for, but you know, it might come up. And in case you're wondering, the UV assembler is hard blocked until we get to the advanced HPCA, which is a long time away, so we're not looking at that. We just want the machine hull. Ooh, this one's green, but only for a couple seconds, which is kind of lame. Alright, so we want automatic tin plasma for our new turbines when they come in eventually. I requested them. So we'll want semi-passive silver and semi-passive helium-3, or ideally passive of both. Fortunately, silver's very easy to passive. We get it from gas predictions. We already have it on passive. And helium-3 is not that bad either. We can drill this up from the moon, which is pretty awesome. I gotta say, that seems really easy. We have a little bit from distilling nether air, but this is gonna be a lot better because there's just gonna be a ton. And I can just request a drilling rig because I'm smart and thought I had it to— oh, rabble. Never mind. I guess this also power failed and might be worth upgrading at some point, but I haven't yet. I would have to do all the power differently, and that would be all the machines differently, and I don't want to do that. Anyway, the liquid silver should be really easy to do, though. It's just a, you know, what is this, an extractor? An extractor step, and then this is just going to be like bringing an ender tank over here. So I was going to like do that, but I guess I can't right now because I have no titanium to make the drilling rig, and I don't really feel comfortable ripping out the tritium setup until we're ready to go. So, we'll come back to that. It appears titanium is going to be an issue with the energy modules as well, as we don't have any. It actually would appear that a number of things I am currently waiting on, not the least of which is crafting time, so once again, I guess I'll be back in like 6 hours of gameplay. Alright, and we're back, and I have good news, and I have bad news. The good news is we have 8 turbines. They are up to ZPM rotor holders with ZPM energy hatches, or dynamo hatches, and a very thick Enderium cable. We produce like somewhere in the ballpark of around like 2.5 million EU per tick when everything's running. Also, the battery is huge now. This is 229 billion. Just like a totally insane number. We have everything hooked over to tin plasma now. I just need to basically set up a recycling for the liquid tin back into ingots, but that hardly matters. We have the drill on the moon, and we have this extractor for the silver, and we have some pretty standard logistics up here. Between 32 buckets and 512 buckets, it starts and runs, or below 32 and up to 512. So the power issues are basically not issues anymore. Anyway, on for the bad news. I think I am going to be either taking a break from this pack, or it will be on the back burner. I still intend to upload, but it will not be this. As I said with Fusion 1, if something involved me just waiting for 12 hours more or less in order to progress, that was going to be my final straw. I was very excited to do things like biochemistry and the skulk vat, but if every turn is going to be blockaded by something that says, wait 8 hours, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to make videos around that kind of a schedule, because then that is just like, okay, 2 or 3 days out of my week are just going to be me idling in Minecraft, and that's not fun at all. The thing that really cemented this decision for me, though, was the wetware circuit boards. This is a 90-second recipe at HV, so, it'd be an LCR, so we could get this pretty quick, up to, 1.4 seconds per board. Except that neuroprocessing units are 30 seconds per board at ZPM. We could maybe overclock this to I think this would be 7 seconds per board, but then it's 7 seconds per board at 10 seconds per circuit over and over and over again. 17 seconds per circuit it's not heinous in the grand scheme of things, but is it really necessary? And again, that's assuming that we can overclock this, which I'm not even sure that we can, because I don't think you can for circuit assemblers. So we'd be sitting at a 40-second recipe for 2 circuits, and unless we parallel our multi-blocks, which is a ridiculous statement in my opinion, it's just so much time waiting. Just waiting for things. It is frankly one of the most flagrant disrespects of my time I've had in a game in a very long time, and it's very frustrating. I'm sure many of the more gregality inclined among you may simply say, oh, just parallel harder, infra harder, and I'm sure I could, but I really just don't want to. This whole RAM stick build is kind of me giving up in some degree already, of just I'm tired of making so many things. This is functionally a lawn base, right? It's just 4 lawn bases stacked on top of each other with a staircase leading over and walls. It's just 4 lawn bases. And we've been building in here for a while, and it's it's 4 lawn bases. I am better than lawn base. Look at how many of these rooms are so colossal and just need to be because everything's huge and everything takes up so much space, and apparently there's an empty hole here. Let me fix that. I do intend to continue because I would be remiss to stop now, and I want to beat a Gregtech pack to say that I did it. But I don't want this to be how I play Minecraft exclusively for the next foreseeable 2 months. Given this video took nearly 2 weeks to come out already, and I'm rushing it, I would be very, very, very disappointed if my next month or 2, or perhaps 3 of playing Minecraft are playing the game until a Farmville-style wait-a-thon comes along that I could theoretically bypass with premium currency, but I get no such luxuries in a single-player game. When I do continue to make videos with Monifactory, expect them to be a bit more disjointed than they already are. They might not be, but they might be. I'm reminded of an old adage that Threefold said in one of his GTNH videos of, it's hard to make content for Gregtech after a point, because it becomes, we need to build these machines, and then it's a cut, and then it's you saying, okay, I have built these machines. Except the cut ends up taking 8 hours, because it's 7 LCRs and 3 distillation towers, half a dozen multi-blocks, and a bunch of AE2 filtering. Or just some unnecessarily long wait times. And I'm looking at you now in the comments. If you're sitting there and you're about to write, "Oh, I can't believe they're such a weenie for giving up at this point," I beat DJ too. I am stubborn. I am very stubborn. It takes a lot to get me to stop wanting to do something. And unfortunately, I have had that feeling too many times. The constant power inconsistencies of FE P2P that are seemingly unknown by everybody, yet known with full confidence by people who also don't know what they're talking about, myself included. A constant feeling of just being one step behind the game at all terms, whether that be power production, or material production, or spare hours you have left in the day. A quest book that is, in some circumstances, entirely misleading or unclear, or in other circumstances just flagrantly wrong. It's made it very difficult for the past number of episodes to continue wanting to play the pack, and I'm sure I've made no secret of that. But I am stubborn, and I will see this through to the end. Probably. Just not all in one continuous go. The things I value in Minecraft are not these simple little logistics point A to point B challenges that I complain about so frequently and I'm sure are wrong for some reason, or these filter sessions of making sure everything is filtered to the correct thing so that you don't accidentally ruin your whole factory, or the ever so joyous looming threat of a brownout. No, I want to solve problems that are unique and require some critical thinking. This required some critical thinking, but this is one of, 5 times I felt challenged in, oh my god, nearly 800 hours. Of course, not all of that is based on progression, and I'm sure a large amount of that is AFK, but still, if I'm gonna spend 800 hours doing something, I hope I like it. Anyway, let's at least look at the docket. We did fusion, we did plasma, we got the substation, and we got the turbines. Look at this thing, man. 229 billion. I'm just a little upset that it's an odd number. Well, it's not an odd number, but it's a strange number. Hello, doggy. Anyway, I do still intend to finish the pack, it just won't be my main focus. So I hope that's alright. I feel like that's a fair middle ground. I already have a good idea for what I want to play next, and I'm sure it won't be a surprise to many of you. But I do want to wait a couple days before I get into that, so bear with me if it's another 10-ish days between uploads. I'll try to make it not, but it might be. Anyway, I'm sure I'll see you again here, even if it's not necessarily quite soon, but I do hope to catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching, especially with my grumpy butt. Bye-bye.